guys, it's Wednesday, April 29th. Today we are finishing up our plot diagram, and then I will let you know how exactly I want you to turn that in because we are going to be done with it today. And we'll also be going over the final exam guidelines and how you can register for classmarker.com and how you can take the final exam. Okay, so first thing is first. This is our finished plot diagram. Of course, we have gone over everything up until Chapter 10, 11, and 12, and Chapter 10, Event 1 of our falling action, Chapter 11, Event 2 of our falling action, and then Chapter 12, of course, would be the resolution. And then we also had a couple of themes left to fill out. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our Chapter 10, Event 1, the effects of the climax. So the climax was when Johnny died. He died in the hospital after his injuries, and he told Ponyboy to stay gold. The first falling action event that happened as a result of that is when Dally dies. He can't take it that Johnny is now dead. Several times in the novel, it says the only thing that Dally ever loved was Johnny, and so he runs out of the hospital and he is gunned down by police after robbing a store at gunpoint. So that is the first event number 1 in our falling action. Event number 2 happens in Chapter 11. Ponyboy is recovering from his own injuries following the rumble. He has a concussion. And Randy the Soch comes to visit him, and Ponyboy reveals he actually thinks it's himself who killed Bob. Because of his concussion and his injuries, he thinks that it's he who killed Bob, and that he's going to get in a lot of trouble for this. And everybody's kind of confused about that. And they're also very worried about Ponyboy and his health. And then in Chapter 12, we have our resolution. So our first resolution is when Derry and Pony get into a fight and Soda reveals he can no longer be the middleman. So that resolves Ponyboy's, basically his whole conflict. That he feels like he's an outsider in his own family and that Derry doesn't really love him. He's kind of seeing the effect that it's having on Soda. Shh, we'll go outside later. He is seeing the effect that it's having on Soda, and so his perception starts to change. The second resolution that happens is the hearing with the judge, and the judge determines that Ponyboy is obviously innocent. He did not kill Bob. It was Johnny that killed Bob, and it was self-defense, and that the brothers can stay together. That was one of their worries the whole time. That's why Derry is always really hard on Ponyboy, is he wants them to be able to stay together. And the third and final resolution is that Pony is given an assignment from his English teacher. His grades have begun to drop after everything. He's always been a good student. And he chooses to write about the outsiders as his theme. So the first line of his theme, or his paper, is the first line of the novel. If you didn't catch that, then go back and reread the first line of the novel. And so he's going to write his story about what has happened to him and his buddies. And then the last thing you're going to fill out is the themes. So now you have 8 themes. This is important because you're going to choose one of these themes that you feel like is the most important theme throughout the whole novel to write your essay about. So society and class, appearances, love, loyalty, isolation, violence, and then we are adding education and choices. Those are the 2 themes we're adding. Hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Tiger's birthday's tomorrow.
Tiger Mondo.
How old are you going to be?
Oh.
Say 3.
3.
3. Then I quickly want to go over the final exam guidelines with you because this is now available to you on classmarker.com, and this will be due by Friday at 3:30. So you have 2 days to do this, but you will only have 90 minutes to complete the exam. I say only 90 minutes. It's about 40 questions long. And this would be the equivalent of like 2 class periods, which is what you would have if we were at school. You will have 1 attempt only to complete the exam, and once you start the exam, you can't pause it and come back to it. So make sure that once you start it, you have a good amount of time to sit down and do it. So that's the first 3 things about the exam, since you're taking this online. The second thing is I'm going to show you how to register. So this is all on my website, my teacher page. You go to www.classmarker.com, register. The link is right there on my teacher page. Okay, I'm going to go back. Then it says select test takers option. So there's 2 options. You are test takers, so you would hit register here. And then you have a registration code. Make sure that you find your right class period's registration code. So first hour has a registration code, second hour, third hour, 5th, 6th, 7th hour. You want to make sure you have the right registration code right there. So I'm going to go back to that. They're all right there. You can just copy and paste that. You should be able to. So registration code, then you're going to put your first name, last name, username, password, email address is optional. Then you'll just, I agree, and click on register. Okay? So once you get there, I'm going to show you what it looks like. A second. I have one as a student. It'll pop up on your dashboard and it'll say the Outsiders Final Exam, attempts allowed 1. Once you hit start, then you can't pause it and come back to it. So make sure once you start this, like I said, you have plenty of time to sit there and do it. And again, you'll have 90 minutes. That's plenty of time to do it. But I wanted to make sure that you had plenty of time. Start. Once you finish it, you submit it. It's over. It's done. And if you have any questions, of course, between now and then, let me know. That's why I've given you 2 days to do this, is because I know I'll have lots of questions. Okay, so all of this information, again, is right here on my webpage. All the registration codes, everything. And that's pretty much it for Wednesday's assignment. Since we're done with our plot diagrams, feel free to email a picture of those to me. You can message me a picture of those. As long as I have a picture of those in my possession, then you will get credit for doing those. I just need the final ones. So those of you who have been sending me pictures of those, I appreciate it. But this is the one that will count towards your grade. On Friday's lesson, I will go over the final essay with you a little bit more in depth, and you will have a week to complete that. It will show up on No Red Ink on Friday. So one last reminder, the plot diagram, you can send it to me, you can email it to me, you can message it any way you want to. All right, if you guys have any questions, email me, message me, or I'll see you guys on Zoom. Bye guys.